Alright guys, welcome back, smarthelping.com. It is 4:40 Friday, December 16th, and we got a new model for the week. I try to do one a week. As you know, on Monday I did one for risk analysis, but it wasn't really the caliber model that I like to try to build. So, we have here a accounts receivable and accounts payable tracker. And from that, you can also track you can track net revenue based on the account receivable money that you actually receive and the expenses you actually paid out. But it does a twofold, so you're going to be able to track the amount owed, the amount paid, and the outstanding balance for all receivables and all payables. So this is really useful for any kind of small business or anybody that wants a nice, easy Excel, you know, a method to use Excel to track all the stuff. So the best way to explain how it works is to just use it and actually show how you would use it. So we have our date here, and all the yellow cells are what you would fill in. So we have our date, let's say on January 1st, 2017. I send out a bill, an invoice number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, and it's for $500. And there's no payment amount yet. Work type, you can choose between, it'll be in the validation, which is over here, but this goes all the way down. As long as many as you fill in here and go down, it will come through in this drop down as far down as over, I think, up to 1,000. I've got it set. So let's just say field 2 is the work type. It's just another method that if you want to tack that onto an invoice and track it by some way, you can do KPI dashboards or summaries with that. Then we've got our customer name, which goes down, same thing, down to 250. Well, this goes down to 250. So let's do customer 2. And then if you had a consultant this is basically an extra field, and you could pick, I've just got expense 1, 2, because these could be expenses, consultants, whatever you have, and then note, or these are all extra fields also that if you want to track. And then you just need to make sure on the extra field, whatever you designate that as, you keep it the same and it goes through to the database. And obviously I can help you get this set up. Usually with these I'll give about 2 hours of free time if you purchase it, and anything beyond that goes beyond the scope, I'll charge an hourly rate, which is around $40. It depends on my time, but it's between $30 and $40 an hour. To go beyond the scope, and obviously I'll explain just the general use case and how it works at no extra charge. So, okay, so we have our invoice here, build it, let's enter it. So to enter it, we just click our macro button here, and you can see if we go over to our database 1, it's there. So January 1st, 2017, we have the invoice number. Now all these need to be black font because my macro changes the formatting, but I could adjust that color setting. So let's enter it one more time and see how it works. So we go, yep, so there it worked. Let's clear this one out. Stand by 1 second. Alright, so you got your date, invoice, the amount, field 2, payment amount, no payment was made, your customer expense. So all those come through, and you can see all the extra fields will always come through in the same spot. Then we have some different reports. So you can see our receivables. We made $500 sales, nothing's been paid. Current balance for that customer 2 is $500. and as of this date. Whatever date you put in here is going to pull any info on that day or earlier. So if this goes to 12/1/2016, nothing shows up. If you go out to, say, 2/1/2017, it comes up because it happened on January. We also have our invoices, but the invoices are not going to update until we hit update invoices up here. Now we hit that and then go to invoices. You can see it'll pop the invoice number in there and it tracks it. We also have accounts receivable. We have it by month where it says your total sales, total paid, account balance. It shows this across everything that's happened in as of this date, and then also goes and shows total sales, total paid, and outstanding balance by customer. So it goes down there about 250. Then it says amount paid by customer and amount owed. So let's say, okay, we billed them. Let's say we received it. They paid on the 1st of the next month, February. Same invoice number, obviously. And we can always go check the invoice tracking to see what invoice is out, how much is owed, or whatever. Work type, all this would not change. All that matters is that they paid. So now if they're paying, you leave this blank, which I've made a note here. Make payments negative, and if there's no payment, leave blank. So then payment amount is different than the invoice amount. You're going to go negative. Let's say we collected all of it. Or no, let's say we collected $400. So then we're going to enter that. And we see on our receivables, now look, we made $500. Well, we invoiced $500. We've been paid $400. This customer still owes $100. And you can see the invoice also updated here. And the reason why we want this is so you can track by invoice, because you might have multiple invoices by each customer, and you want to see the breakup of invoices. So that's why we've had this added. No payables have been entered yet. You can see accounts receivable. If we go along here, you can see, oh, look at February, it changed. No sales been made, but they paid $400. Now the running balance is down to $100. And then individually, you can see customer 2 is tracked here with the sale. Then if we scroll to the amount paid, oh, they paid $400 here. Great. And then our running balances per customer here. Running balance is 100. Okay, so that's how that kind of flows, and that's how you track that. Now let's go to the expense side. Let's say you want to track your amount of money you owe. So let's go back to, let's say, on the 2nd of January 2017. We're entering the bill. We're not paying it, so we're saying it's entered. Invoice number, whatever. Consultant / expense. Pick expense 6. And then we can put hours or rate, just general things that could add up to an amount owed, or you could just type in here amount owed if you don't need a formula. Say we owe $5,000, and then you could define the invoice by however many fields or descriptions that you want here, and it'll come through to the database. So let's enter the payable. And then let's say, okay, now let's, on the 2nd of February, we're now changing this to we're paying a bill, which will leave the amount owed blank. And then let's say we're paying $4,008, and I'll say we're just paying $4,000. Okay, enter that. Now if we go to our payables, you can see this updated for expense 6. We got a bill for this amount, we paid this much, and this is our balance. And then if we just want to see the breakdown by date, we go to our AP monthly, and let's start date. We'll put it in 2017. And this will go out 15 years in time by month. So here, January 1, oh, we had our bill, paid this, and this is our outstanding balance. And then it goes down, same thing on the expense side. You got all your expenses, total payables, total paid out, and then your balance. And that's then well, we got a couple more things. So we got the P&L, which is only going to track, and let's put this to 2017. This is only going to track for 1 year's worth of time, but it could be built out to go out, multiple years. We got our quarters here, are all dynamic. So here we got revenue collected only 400, expenses paid 4,000, so net revenue 3,600. So this is basically going on if you're doing cash basis accounting and you're just looking at what's happened in the bank, and you've basically, so if you had $400 come in and 4,000 go out. Now let's say in March we have a different invoice, and the invoice amount is now 15,000, and we were paid 8,500. And what type doesn't matter. Customer 9, and expense is non-related. So you can tie these to different. You can tie the invoice to an expense if you want, or there's all kinds of different ways to track the invoice. But so now let's enter the receivable. We should have it in here. Let's put our current date as 4, so it comes in. Oh, there it is, 15,000, 85.65. We'll update our invoice because you see it's not updated here yet. So click update, and there it is, new invoice. This is that analysis of there. Now we go to our AP, and we can see our overall what's going on, or I mean our AR. And go up here, and you can see what's kind of happening. So our running balance is $500 of money we are owed by customers. No, we collected 400. Now we only are owed 100. Then we had a bill for 15,000, but we were paid 8,500. So our outstanding balance would be the difference of this plus the $100, which is 6,600. So that's right. And then we move along. And now if we go to our P&L, well, now we have some profit here because, well, we didn't pay any expenses, but we have some revenue. And that's how it works, and that's the whole thing. Now what I can add is, what I'm going to add is, we'll do a chart for a couple different things. One, we're going to track the balance, running balance for the first year of this for your accounts payable and receivables. And we could really go out, basically depending on how many years, we could go out 3 years or 5 years and track the balance, or 1 year. So I'm just going to do it for 1 year to show how a chart would look, and then you could choose the time frame by basically setting the, when you do your inputs, just pick the range of cells you want to go down to. But let's go ahead, I'll show you, let's do it live here. So we'll do a chart of this for here. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, perfect. Just making sure it ignores null values. Alright, let's make our labels lower. Add a legend. Don't want this one. And this is P and L summary by month. for 1 year. We want this to be 30. So there you have it. P&L summary, make some outlines, and that'll show, you know, each of these over time. And you could make, let's say we want to make the profit a line. We don't want that. We want our net revenue a line with markers. It can have the same axis, and then these will be columns. And I want this to be black, or let's say, what color could we do? Oh, that's fine. So you can see your profit, and then your expenses here in the bar graph. And then the next thing we're going to do, put this on the bottom, is the more interesting chart, I think, is the, we'll just add a tab for this, balances. This is the fun chart. So let's insert. And we've got our AR monthly. Let's see if we can just do it here. We'll just go out 1 year. So we start in June. So we'll go to May 17. Just so you can see, I don't want to do too much data. And let's see how to do this. So this is AR analysis. And we want to start this on, let's start this rate on January 1, 17. See what it looks like. There we go. And these are visuals, so let me see. Balances. Make this a white tab. Okay, so we have, let's get our legend in. And now look, you can see we'll do a running balance. Hold on. Let's do a running balance combo. And we'll make the outstanding balance a line. Make that a column. And they could all be on the same axis. Hold up. I want to make these dollars. Okay. So now you can see in gray here, these are the amounts you've been paid. And this is your total sales and receivables in blue. And you can see why the receivables, well, let's see, our total sales. This is our total sales. Total paid. What's the receivables? Oh, that's going to be a we don't need this field. And there you have it. So everything, something big happens, you can see that there's a change in the outstanding balance, and then the bars show, you know, kind of what's happened. And the difference of the bars is basically where your line's going to be. So there's the AR. And then we could do the same thing. I'll do it for AP, but it's the same exact thing, just accounts payable. So let's do that really quickly. And I'll do 1 year. So January to December. Oh. And then we don't need this. And this is AP. And since nothing's happened except for, well, we did have a $15,000 payment. Did we? Why is that coming through? Okay, this should be database 222. Oh. How did this not get dragged over? Okay, so this is 2 here. Now that should be accurate. 222, 222, and these are all 2s. Yep. Just make sure these are going from database 2. Yeah. And let's make sure, so these total owed should be pulling from database 2 column G. Alright, yep, total owed. And then paid would be H, correct. And then outstanding balance is summing them and taking the date. This formula is the one that's kind of confusing to get proper, so and that looks like it's correct. There we go to our visual AP analysis. Where is it going on here? Total paid. Total paid outstanding balance. Did I miss some of the data? Yes, I. No, I didn't. It should have. Now we don't want that. Okay, stand by. Let me see why that chart's not pulling other data. Oh, well, look at that. I just had to update the chart type, and there the numbers popped in. So it's just Excel was being a little tricky. Put these to low. So there. Now we can see. So this is our amount owed, and then oh, look, we made a payment. So now our balance goes down, and let's make this. Marker. There we go. Now we're cooking. So AP analysis, AR analysis by month, and the rest of it. So this is a great organizational tool for you to use to track your accounts receivable and payable. It kind of streamlines everything. You just put the data in one time, and then you've got all your summaries by date, and you can look up invoices here, and for AR and AP. Hopefully this will help you. If you want the spreadsheet, I will email you it. Just click on the link below in the description box. It'll go to the page where you can purchase it. And note, if you are on a mobile phone, it might have an error page, but you just need to either set it, and the reason why is because my website, the mobile version, is an error page, but you can just go to smarthelping.com and look at the Excel models, and this will show up in the proper category, and it will say something along the lines of accounts receivable and accounts payable tracking. All right, that's all I got for you today. Happy Friday. It's 5 o'clock. I'm going to be busy all weekend with work, but I'm pumped to get this spreadsheet out. I think it'll be helpful and useful. Hope everyone has a great weekend and try to stay warm if you're in the Northeast. All right, see you later.